Yeah, let's do it. Okay, what is something you can do now to prepare for college? Yes. Learning. Okay, what else? Yes. Doing your best at school, good. What else?
Wake up early.
Waking up early so you're on time, good. What else? Yeah, setting good priorities. What else? Practice really hard, good. What else? Study, what else?
With saving up for college?
Saving money, learning how to spend money, right? That's important. Good. Anything else? What is your job right now? School. So if you're not working very hard in school, do you think you're going to make very much money? If you showed up to your job and you didn't do any work, do you think you'd get a paycheck? You would get one, but it wouldn't be as good as it could be, right? Right. But also, are you going to be able to keep that job? Probably not. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something called focused note-taking. It's going to be awesome. It's something that I'm really passionate about. Wicker, which I'm also very passionate about, and being organized. Who is anyone in Miss White's Avid class? Oh, good. And yes? No? Avid? Avid?
What's that?
Avid? Way to go. Way to be on it.
What's that?
What is Avid? Do you remember what it stands for? Avid stands for advancement via individual determination, which basically means best strategies to learn all the things. So I'm an Avid teacher. I teach Avid and I make it happen at our school. So basically my focus is college readiness. My focus is best tools to help you learn. And my focus is to help you to be the most successful you can be. So it would be very sad if I did not share this next thing with you. Because if you learn how to take notes this way, you will study less, you will do better on your tests, and you will actually learn something. You will. How many of you have taken notes and then not looked at them, and then your teacher's like, okay, you've got a PC or an assessment on this thing, look at your notes, and you're like, uh-oh, I don't even remember this. Anybody? Just me? Yeah, it can be a super fun time. If we're out, we're out. Okay, so on the top of your note taker, will you write focus note taking?
How do you spell that?
It's on the board. Focus note taking. So at the top of your paper, you're going to write focus note taking. We're going to talk about this because it's the best thing. We're going to start talking about it today and we'll finish it next time. But I promise it's going to be so good for your brains. Yes? What?
The assignment, how to become your job choice. How do you submit it, like PDF?
Or just a Google Doc. We'll talk about it after we do our notes, okay? Good question, though. All right. I have a little video for you to watch. You're going to take some notes for me. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. There you are. Okay, so the 5 steps to success, because that's what we want. So we're going to watch this little video clip. I want you to write down one interesting fact that you learned from this video. It's a very quick video. You're going to write down one thing. Thumbs up if you understand. Okay, here we go. All of you should have a note taker. Ah! There we go. Hold on. No. Hold on. Okay. There we go. No.
They basically changed their schedule.
Well, let's try.
Did you know that the brain is designed to forget things? which makes learning new information really hard. The focused note-taking process makes learning stick. A landmark study done in the 1880s found that people forget along a predictable curve. In an hour, you will forget more than half of what you've learned. A day later, you will only remember a third. And it just keeps getting worse from there. The focused note-taking process is designed to help you remember what you learned. The secret is repetition. Interacting with your notes within 18 minutes will boost your recall from 55% to 100%. Revisiting your notes within one day increases your learning from 70% back to 100%. Notice the curve of forgetting changes dramatically after every interaction with your notes. Complete 5 repetitions, and the information is all but cemented in your brain.
Okay. How soon after you learn something do you forget it? Okay. All right. So what was the key to remembering things? What did it say? Repetition. So, focus note taking. This is the percentage of retention. When you receive material, right, you're at 100%. You know 100% of the material in the moment that you take notes, okay? Within 10 minutes, okay, we dip down to 75%. If you read your notes and look over them again within 10 minutes or 18 minutes, okay, your retention is going to go up significantly, okay? So, here we go. After 20 minutes, you only remember 66% of your information. 24 hours, a third, okay? So within 7 days, you only remember about a quarter of what you learned. And that might just be a small portion, okay? If you review your notes within 20 minutes or within 24 hours, retention goes back up to 100. That means if you read those notes again, you're going to remember exactly what you did, okay? If you, within 24 hours, we're back down to 75%. If you review it again, your retention goes back up to 100, and so on and so forth. If you interact with your notes a total of 5 times, you will remember the information more perfectly. Wouldn't you like to learn information and not forget it? And not have to spend hours and hours relearning? Okay, it's all about how you take and use your notes. So, what's going to happen right now? We're going to do a little riddle. We're going to watch the first, I think it's 2 minutes. I want you to write down as much information as you can about what it's telling you, okay? So it's important for you to pay attention. Write down the things that you hear and remember. Stop talking to your neighbors. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm this close to not giving you a mask break because I'm seeing lots of people not doing what they're supposed to be doing and talking instead of listening to information. So don't be that person. Focus as much as you can right now, okay? Are you ready? So it's about 1.5 minutes long. Write down as much information. So can you solve the hat riddle?
You and 9 other individuals have been captured by super-intelligent alien overlords. The aliens think humans look quite tasty.
Okay, you do not have to write things word for word, but paraphrase. Okay? Don't write things word for word, but paraphrase.
But their civilization forbids eating highly logical and cooperative beings. Unfortunately, they're not sure whether you qualify, so they decide to give you all a test. Through its universal translator, the alien guarding you tells you the following. You will be placed in a single file line, facing forward in size order, so that each of you can see everyone lined up ahead of you. You will not be able to look behind you or step out of line. Each of you will have either a black or a white hat on your head, assigned randomly, and I won't tell you how many of each color there are. When I say to begin, each of you must guess the color of your hat, starting with the person in the back and moving up the line. And don't even try saying words other than black or white, or signaling some other way, like intonation or volume. You'll all be eaten immediately. If at least 9 of you guess correctly, you'll all be spared.
You have 5 minutes to discuss and come up with a plan. And then I'll line you up, assign your hats, and we'll begin.
Can you think of a strategy guaranteed to save everyone?
All right. Let's see what you got written down. We're going to take notes together as a class. So, you've been captured by aliens. You look delicious. So, what information did we get from this activity? What did they tell us? What's the first thing you wrote down? Yes.
That you've been captured by aliens and want to eat.
We've been captured. Captured. Wow. If you don't have that in your notes, add it to your notes. Okay, we've been captured by aliens. What else did we learn? Yes. You can't what? Okay, you can't look behind you, right? What else? Yes.
You can't like whistle or do anything.
So you can't whistle. What can you do? You what? There's none of that, right? You can't give any, what is the only thing you can say? Yes. Black or white. Okay? If you don't have these things in your notes, you're adding them to your notes. What else? What else did we hear? Yes. So we're going to be in a line. And you can't leave the line. What did they say the line would be? What order?
Smallest to short.
Okay, so the line is tall to small. Right? Yes.
If matters for them to get it right, then I wasn't there.
What are they supposed to get right? So, guess hat, color, 9 correct. Right? And they're all spared. What happens if they don't guess correctly? They get eaten by aliens. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Anything else that you have in your notes that I don't have in mine? Yes. Help people not get eaten. To not be literal snacks. Anything else? Yes. The hat?
The app. The app. The app on the phone.
Oh, the app on the phone, the translator. Good. Okay, anything else? Okay. What we've just done is the first step of focus note taking. Okay, I want you to put your pencil down. I want you to put your hands in front of you like this. And you're going to pretend like you're pulling a tablecloth off a table like a magician. You're going to go whoosh. So, step 1, we're going to do this. Do it again with me. We go whoosh. Step 1, we take notes. Will you say that with me on 3? 1, 2, 3. Take notes. Try that one more time. We take notes. So we just took notes. Okay? When we take notes, we're writing down information. Do you have to write everything word for word?
No.
No, we don't, right? But we are making sure we include good information. I will tell you what, we kind of did part of step 2 just barely, but we'll get to that. Do you want to know how the puzzle solved?
Yes.
Do I have any guesses on how we solved this? Okay, what's your guess?
So the tall, the
Uh-huh.
one at the very end. and it really doesn't matter what he says, but they can take what he said and like, because they can still look at other people's hats, they can use that to like escape. I don't know.
Okay, so the tallest person, so it doesn't matter what he says because everyone can look at the hat in front of them. Is that what you're saying? So in order to get the answer, what do they need to say? The hat color in front of them, maybe? I don't know. What was your guess?
Okay, they can only say white or black, so they can use reverse psychology. First person will have to be wrong, and they say like the random color.
Uh-huh.
So whatever color the person had in front of them, they say the opposite color. And they're expressing their plan.
So it is a little bit confusing. Anyone else have a hypothesis? An educated guess? Are you ready to see the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, as you get the answer, add more to your notes. Okay? Add more to your notes. Here we go.
The key is that the person at the back of the line who can see everyone else's hats can use the words black or white to communicate some coded information. So what meaning can be assigned to those words that will allow everyone else to deduce their hat colors? It can't be the total number of black or white hats. There are more than 2 possible values. But what does have 2 possible values is that number's parity. That is, whether it's odd or even. So the solution is to agree that whoever goes first will, for example, say black if he sees an odd number of black hats, and white if he sees an even number of black hats. Let's see how it would play out if the hats were distributed like this. The tallest captive sees 3 black hats in front of him, so he says black, telling everyone else he sees an odd number of black hats.
I'll come bring it to you.
He gets his own hat color wrong, but that's okay, since you're collectively allowed to have one wrong answer. Prisoner 2 also sees an odd number of black hats, so she knows hers is white and answers correctly. Prisoner 3 sees an even number of black hats, so he knows that his must be one of the black hats the first 2 prisoners saw. Prisoner 4 hears that and knows that she should be looking for an even number of black hats, since 1 was behind her. But she only sees 1, so she deduces that her hat is also black. Prisoners 5 through 9 are each looking for an odd number of black hats, which they see, so they figure out that their hats are white. Now it all comes down to you at the front of the line. If the 9th prisoner saw an odd number of black hats, that can only mean one thing. You'll find that this strategy works for any possible arrangement of the hats. The first prisoner has a 50% chance of giving a wrong answer about his own hat, but the parity information he conveys allows everyone else to guess theirs with absolute certainty. Each begins by expecting to see an odd or even number of hats of the specified color. If what they count doesn't match, that means their own hat is that color. And every time this happens, the next person in line will switch the parity they expect to see. So that's it, you're free to go. It looks like these aliens will have to go hungry, or find some less logical organisms to abduct.
All right. What was the answer to the riddle? Black and white. How did you know? Right? Yes. It's odd and even. Okay. You assign a point value, right? So, in your notes, we're going to add, right, how we solve it. So, basically what they're saying is you pick a color. So if black, we would say odd, and white would be even. So the first person in the line is going to count the hats, right? If there are an even number, the higher number is even, right? That means it's going to be, he's going to say what? White. Even if he doesn't know what his hat is, right? He's not able to see it. So then each person is then going to look at the hats in front of them and make a guess. If they see an even color of black hats, then that means that they have a black hat. If they see an even number of white hats, that means they have a white hat. Are you confused? Yes. So basically, at the beginning, you're going to establish which one's odd and even. And then you're going to look in front of you. If you see an even number of white hats, right, and the first person said white, that means you are a white. If you see an odd number, or you are not a white, you're a black. If you see an odd number of whites, then you know. I posted the video on Canvas if you want to rewatch it to get the clues. Great. Okay. We've all done the first step of focused note taking, which is to what? Do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Take notes. When do you take notes? When you learn something. How many of you have taken notes in class today? All of you should be raising your hands because you just took notes. Right? Wow, magic. Crazy sauce. Okay, so on the first day, we want to be like Arnold, right? Strong students take notes. Okay? I know. If you want to be ripped like this, take notes every day. Okay. So we take notes in class. How many of you take notes in your notebooks? How many of you have teachers who give you notes, who give you papers to fill in the blanks? How many of you have taken notes on the computer? Okay, we're taking notes in lots of different ways, right? So, our first step, taking notes. I'm going to skip over this. Okay, so we need to establish a purpose or an objective for taking the notes. What was our purpose in taking the notes, just barely?
To be able to take less notes.
Well, from the video, we took notes to what? To live. To figure out the riddle. Okay? So, once we establish our purpose, typically teachers are going to give you an essential question, or sometimes they're going to give you something like this. Be able to understand, right? It's what you're learning about that day. So today, our essential question would be to take focus notes. Yes? Can I finish and then I will write you a note? Okay, great. Okay, you're next going to select a format for notes. How many of you just write things down? If your teacher's like, okay, take out a piece of paper and take notes. You're like, okay. How many of you had elementary school teachers show you how to take notes? Some of you, good. Not all of you though. But we need to learn a different variety of taking notes because guess what? You don't have to write down everything your teacher says, and you don't have to do it in the exact same way that they show you. Okay, and then you're going to write your notes. Wow, that's so easy. So, you're going to select, paraphrase, arrange information thoughtfully. So, here are some different examples of how you can take notes. How many of you have seen this kind of note taker? Do you have any teachers who've used this note taker? Good. This is called a Cornell note taker. It was established at Cornell University, okay? And basically it's a format to go through this process, okay? It's formatted specifically for focus note taking, okay? But I'm going to show you how to do focus note taking with any notes, okay? You can do a graphic organizer. How many of you have ever used a graphic organizer? Okay? You can put a topic in the middle, right? Or we put our topic right here, the things that are the same if we're doing compare and contrast, right? Same in the middle, different on the outside. Okay, how many of you have used a mind map? Okay, you put your main idea in the middle, and then you make little bubbles for each of the ideas. Okay, that's a mind map. Input, output. So this would be if you were in math. you could put an equation here and show your work here. You've used this before? Awesome. Okay. So, first step of focus note taking, we what? Say that with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Taking notes. Okay. We've all taken notes. Now we're going to take a mask break. Let me